can't make it tonight, along with Town Manager Michael Units. Pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ted Nessie back there. Come on up, Ted. Some folks might recognize Ted from, 40 years ago when you did the Sun Chronicle? What years were those?
I was covering you guys in the summer and fall of '07, and then they reassigned me to Mansfield, which was very high drama at the time, and I hated it, and then I left the Sun Chronicle. So if they left me here, I might still be covering you guys. Who knows? But I want to just thank you again. This is the third year in a row I've brought my journalism students from Wheaton to the Selectmen meeting, and it's great. They see just what a rookie reporter does. You get dropped into a municipal meeting, try to figure out what zoning is and how all this works, and see all you in action. So thank you for having us, and we'll try to keep them from being too disruptive.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
It's an interesting process. This is I'm not sure where you folks come from, but in New England, we still follow the Puritan way of doing things with the Board of Selectmen. You guys probably have, some of you may have councilmen or mayors or stuff like that, but we're still doing it the old-fashioned way here in New England for the most part. So, well, welcome to all of you. Glad to have you. Not too often we get an audience, so this is even great. We got thunder and lightning going. This is really great.
What a night.
Okay, first thing on the agenda, we have Miss Elizabeth J. Taylor Rossi, Director of COA Human Services, is going to come in and give us an update. Liz, good to see you.
Hi, thank you for having me here. I just wanted to give you a quick update on things at the Senior Center and Human Services going on in town. We got through the winter. We're very busy at the Senior Center, as we have been in the past. All our programs are filled to capacity with waiting lists at times. I just want to use this opportunity to do a big thank you to Wheaton College. Wheaton College has been a big support through the winter. We have their swim team that's been helping us out monthly with food delivery from the Greater Boston Food Bank. We have an intern who's been working there Friday afternoons. She's been helping with programming as well as doing some computer data inputting. And we've been working closely with Wheaton College. They're going to provide some community activities, and they've been a real presence in the Senior Center, and it's really nice to be working closely with Wheaton College, so that is phenomenal. I also want to acknowledge that wintertime is kind of a nutty time. We're coming off of open enrollment for Medicare, and now is the season where we deal with all the problems and fallouts from that. So that has been very busy at the center. We've got some awesome volunteers, as well as our new 10-hour-a-week outreach worker who's been working really hard to sort of get through some of the problems that we've experienced with the Medicare open enrollment period. We've got one more week for senior taxes. I don't know if you're aware, but we've been offering tax services at the Senior Center for seniors and low-income people, and that has gone phenomenally well. And we also had Wheaton College offer a day where they did tax prep for seniors as well. So it's a really wonderful service that we've been offering at the Senior Center. We've been working closely not only with Wheaton, but with local nursing homes to sort of stretch our budget to be able to perform a lot of activities and events, educational programs at the Senior Center, which is no cost to us. So I'm really thankful to the community support that we have. I want to introduce Nancy Munson. Nancy Munson, you are the CEO of Bristol Elder Services. Bristol Elder Services is the area access point for seniors looking for services if they reside in Norton and the surrounding towns. Bristol Elder Services coordinates the Meals on Wheels program and a lot of the in-home service programs that we have to offer. So we're an awesome partnership. So I'm going to give the floor to Nancy. She's going to talk about a need that she has.
Okay, sure. Hi, Nancy. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity. I was here a few years ago with sort of a similar request. So as Beth said, we do a lot of things. We're the Aging Services Access Point in Greater Attleboro, Greater Taunton, and Greater Fall River communities, Norton being one of them. one of the main things that we've done in the past 40-plus years that we've been in existence is that we help elders either remain at home as long as they can with services and supports, or help them come out of institutions by providing them the supports that they need in the home. So we have mostly case managers and nurses who go out and meet with the elders and their families to see what kinds of things that they need in order to either stay at home or come back to their home. That might be things with bathing, dressing, meal preparation, shopping. Beth said Meals on Wheels is a huge part of it. So we work really closely with the councils on aging, too, for things that we do in common, farmers market, coupons, things like that, where we can use both of our resources and leverage all of the things that are available. We also receive some, that was mostly the state funding, and the federal funds that we have do things like we have a nursing home ombudsman program. Those are volunteers who go into nursing facilities and help residents with all of their needs. You might have heard of some of the legal services that we provide. We also do some grants to the community for things like mental health, elder dental clinics. And here is my point of my ask. As a private company, we have, I think, an unusual board of directors. The composition of our board is actually prescribed in Mass General laws. And what it says is that the majority of our board of directors must be appointed by councils on aging. So we are looking for someone from Norton. Hopefully someone will hear this tonight or come forward and contact Beth or me, and we can let you know a little bit more about what that is. It's a monthly meeting down in Fall River. We try to keep it to 1 hour. People can call in 4 meetings a year because we know it's difficult to travel. And what it really does is it gives a person really a chance to really make a difference, because you can impact the lives of seniors in 15 different communities. We do advocacy. Right now we're working on the state budget, so things that are important to elders and their families. We are really involved in the federal budget. Beth was talking about the Medicare enrollment, and the SHINE program is extremely important and right now is in danger, so we will be advocating for that. So basically my ask is that if anyone is interested, Beth and I can make sure you can come to a meeting and see what it's like, but we would really love to have representation from Norton. So thank you.
Thank you.
What is SHINE?
SHINE stands for serving the health insurance needs of everyone on Medicare. So out of my office, I'm a certified SHINE counselor as well as a 10-hour-a-week outreach worker. We also have 1 volunteer. So anyone who is either disabled and on Medicare, or somebody who is a senior, 65 or older, they can come to the senior center, and for free they get Medicare counseling. I do Medicare one-on-one, where I explain the whole process to them, what's going to happen, what their choices are, and can actually take that process one step further and help them enroll or disenroll into a plan. So it's phenomenal. During open enrollment, we review people's plans that they currently have, and just last week I saved a gentleman who was eligible for some Mass Health benefits because he was disabled. I saved him over $6,000 a month on his prescriptions. So it is an amazing, amazing program that saves our senior residents and our disabled residents a lot of money by helping them identify the best plan for them and the most economical plan.
Yeah, I think we have to stress here, too, that if people, based on what you're both talking about and the different programs you're offering, people, if they're not sure if there's a program out there, if they have any questions, obviously you're there to help them.
Yep.
And, especially the in-home services and that type of stuff, that's very important today. Trying to keep people out of these expensive facilities.
Exactly.
As much as we can.
It's what people want, and
Yeah.
and it certainly helps the taxpayers.
They want to stay in their own homes. And
Yes.
Makes a lot of
That's
sense.
a big part of my role at the senior center, is sort of taking those calls from Norton residents who don't know where to turn. Whether it's I have a senior parent who's coming out of a hospital, what can I do?
Yeah.
And I can point them in that direction. Or whether it's somebody, who's 64 and is about to go on Medicare and they don't know what to do. Or whether it's a family who, doesn't have food on their table, they call me and find out what to do. And I handle all that sort of umbrella of needs.
So what has to be stressed is the importance of You don't have to be a senior either.
No.
You may have someone in your family you want to assist, or,
Yeah.
you might want to find out what programs are available.
Right.
So that's a big part of what you do every day, Beth. So I understand that, people have to understand all they have to do is call and you can assist them with these
Yeah, my role
issues.
is sort of twofold. I'm the Director of Human Services as well as the Director of the Senior Center.
Okay.
So, yeah, any human service needs should come through my office, and we try to get them where they need to go to get help.
What's your phone number?
508-285-0235.
0235. And you can go through our 0200 switchboard here at Town Hall, and you can find it that way, too. Anyone have any questions?
No, I just wanted to pursue one thing on the Shine. I know that a lot of times they use volunteers who get certified, trained, and have classes. And I know myself, where I have had background dealing with insurance, and I'm getting to the point where I'll probably, in a year and a half, hopefully have some free time, that, I'd like to know about how would you go about being certified, taught to become certified?
Yep, they usually have, you could call me and I could get you the number for Lisa Sarkis, who is the head of Shine in this area. They usually have trainings in June. She may be pushing it back a little bit to see, right now, the Shine budget is uncertain in the state, so we're sort of waiting to see what's gonna happen. But absolutely, they are looking for volunteers.
Always, yeah.
Always.
We have two who come to our office, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know myself, having been in business dealing with insurance companies, I understand enough to get by, but I'm
Right.
sure there are other people out there, probably in my age bracket or higher, who probably have a background that would lend itself to learn the ins and outs, and
Yep.
I know that I've seen like some of the programs where you can search and compare the different Medigap
Right, right.
insurances.
It's
Things
very
like that.
rewarding. It's very rewarding volunteer experience because you can save people who are struggling to make ends meet enough money to sort of keep them going.
Right. And
It's a great program.
And the more volunteers we can get to do things like that, it frees you up to do some of your other
Absolutely.
chores.
You also have volunteers who come in, as I mentioned before, to do taxes. So if there's anyone out there who likes taxes, that's another volunteer opportunity that we
Who
can
likes
do.
taxes?
Yeah. I understood what you meant.
You know what I mean, likes doing that. All right?
Mr. Units?
Thank you.
Any other-
I just wanted to thank Nancy and Bristol Elder Services. I know before we had a COA director, Attleboro and Bristol Elder Services were handling a lot of the needs from Norton, being inundated actually from Norton, and thank you for that.
Thank you, and Beth is tremendous.
Thank you both for all you do.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have the vote to approve and sign a contract for town accountant James Quayle.
You had reviewed the contract and has to be voted in open session. And as you know, the town accountant and myself are the employees that the board is responsible for hiring and approving the contracts.
These are non-union positions,
Yes.
some of the few that we do have. Anyone have any questions?
No.
James does a great job, and
How long have you been here now?
trying to think.
It's been a while. He does a terrific job. And, for those of you out there that are concerned about how your money is being spent, you won't find anyone more adamant about making sure that everything is done exactly the way it's supposed to be done.
Yep.
And he follows the laws to the T. And it doesn't matter if you're who you are or what committee you serve on. He pretty much makes sure that everything is done exactly the way it's supposed to be done.
We're very fortunate because every year when we have Scanlon come in
Yep.
to do the audits, they always have high praise for most of the people in the town hall, but especially James. And his knowledge of the budget and the accounting is incredible. He's a find. I certainly wouldn't want to lose somebody like him. He'd be impossible to replace.
Anybody else? Anything else? Can I entertain a motion to approve the 3-year contract for James Playler?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Thank you. Okay, under old business, we're going to review vote on draft articles for the May 8, 2017 annual town meeting warrant articles.
One of the articles we didn't vote on, or you didn't vote on at the last meeting is capital.
No.
So you can,
These all, okay.
yeah, this should be 4 of them there. Give me one, I'll bring it down to James.
Okay, what are we doing here?
They're stapled on that side. There you go.
Okay, so he's handing around the capital improvements recommendations, town manager recommendations for the capital. The units, you want to go through some of this?
Yep, let me just, yeah, the Capital Planning Committee voted to recommend the items listed that you have in front of you. Under data processing, $15,183 to upgrade our wireless system. It needs to be upgraded in a new configuration. Conservation, we have a sinkhole at the Chartley Dam, and $58,000 to do the final design and permitting of repairs.
I'm going to be a bit nervous about that tonight, actually.
I know, that's right. The police department, Chief Clark was looking for 3 cruisers. The committee approved 2 right now, and depending on money in the fall, maybe a 3rd in the fall.
Are they electric cars?
No, we do have our all-electric now, too. So.
They're not offering for the police
I
department.
know, that's too bad.
And then $17,000 for new portable radios. The fire department, the first is a new ambulance for $360,000, and that'll be paid out of the ambulance fund. We build up the fund so that we don't have any carrying costs on notes or anything. We pay cash for the ambulance. The next item is a public utility truck for them. 80% of that cost will come out of ambulance, and 13% will come out of capital. Squad 1, it's the 5th year of a 5-year payment for that fire engine, $75,000. And then 18 more sets of turnout gear, $49,500. And then red alert dispatching software, $55,000. Trying to bring us into the modern times with some GIS software. And the schools, 2nd year of a 3-year program on the replacement of special education minivans, $35,683 out of capital. And they've been also working on a program replacing the carpet at the middle school. Actually, not replacing it, taking carpet out and putting tile down rather than have carpet on the floors in the school. $65,000. And they need engineering at the wastewater plant. Was that 132,000 or 32,000?
I'm just going to look it up. I'm pretty sure we
30
voted for 32,000.
$32,000.
Right, that's 32,000. The reason for that is I'm on the capital committee committee itself, but the state's mandating that we get the waste treatment facility at the middle school into compliance. But because we're working on trying to figure out a way to make the connection to town sewage, we're appropriating $32,000 toward that process to start the process, because it's something we're going to have to do anyway. We didn't really feel that they needed the whole $132,000. If for any reason we don't have to do any of this work, the $32,000 will be brought back into the capital improvement at a later date.
And that is on this, I must have the wrong copy. 32,000 was my recommendation.
This is the copy you just gave me.
Or is it under that? And the next items are for the Water and Sewer Department. And, the highway, excuse me, skip the highway. A one-ton dump truck, 50,000 out of capital. A payment 3 of 5 on a backhoe, 28,000. And payment 5 of 5 on the sweeper, 48,834. And also payment 3 of 5 on the 6-ton whaler, 2.5-ton, excuse me, whaler with the plow, $31,000 on that. So the total recommended is 1,059,200 out of capital. And then the next are water and sewer items, and all this is underwater, and it would all come out of the water retained earnings. And it's 72,000 for a vacuum and valve actuator machine, 11,000 for an 8-ton hauling trailer, and 50,000 for a master plan, or a total of 133,000 out of water.
Mr. Chairman,
Good.
what's the vacuum truck going to be used for?
It's designed to, when you see the hole covers for the water
Yeah.
in the street?
Suck the dirt out of there?
It goes in there and it sucks the water out and it cleans around the top of the head so that they can get into it.
So in case they need to open and
Yeah,
close the
and,
valves?
and this just keeps it so that they can get in and
Yeah.
do what they have to do without all the sediment and everything else going backwards on it.
Yep.
So
good
it's something we thought was something they really need to
Yeah.
have. Any other questions? Should be noted that the fiscal year, the actual request for fiscal year 2018 was $14,013,000. Town manager's recommendation is for $1,292,200, out of which 467 comes out of the ambulance reserve account, and out of the water department, 133,000. And so it's not all capital funds, but it should be noted that there are a lot of requests that are made, and these are important requests that we just can't afford to pay for. And obviously, when we appropriate money and take it out, we always want to figure out a way that we can put it back in. We usually wait until the meeting in October to get that money, hopefully get that money put back in to kind of balance this thing out. Because if you look at some of the years of commitment, we've already got like year 2 of 3, year 3, year 5, and the request for an additional cruiser. All these other requests that we just don't know, we can't afford it until we know exactly how much money we have available in the fall. So we have to be careful. Anyone have any questions? Everyone still awake back there? Just checking. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Welcome, Bob.
All right. And by the way, if you ever do cover any of these meetings of any sort, this documentation that we're working with, you can always come up after the meeting and ask for it. You're writing an article for a paper or something, this stuff is always available to you. Half of us throw it away at the end of the meeting anyway, so we don't mind recycling if you have a use for it.
And if they don't give it to you, you can file a public records request.
Oh, okay. Do we have to get into that, Ted? Come on. We're more than willing to give me anything they want. There you go.
So just out of capital is the 692,200, and our balance in capital right now is $1,034,958.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Articles, this is it?
15.
15, yeah. Any other questions? Chair, entertain a motion to support Article 15.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous, thank you. Mr. Units?
What is today? 6. The other article was water enterprise, but Mrs. Steele had some question on it. She's not here tonight, so do you want to wait?
We can hold up
Okay.
another week, yeah.
And the only other two that we could talk about tonight would be Article 21 and 22, and my recommendation would be that no action be taken on those articles at this town meeting and wait until October.
Okay.
So,
Chair, entertaining a motion to take no action on Article 21.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Chair would also entertain a motion to take no action on Article number 22.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, thank you.
And I just wanted to bring your attention on the zoning article on the Route 140 Taunton Ave. That will not be on the warrant because the planning board voted not to recommend that article. So there's no provision for that to be on the warrant.
Okay. So we don't have to take any action on it.
Right. Because you also recommended no action. No, you didn't recommend it either, so.
Okay. Okay. Next on the agenda, we have town manager's report.
Yep.
Mr. Units.
You know, seeing the journalism majors here tonight, one of the things that's really sad is that we don't have local papers anymore. And I realized it myself as someone who thinks they keep in touch with things in my own town. This week was election day, and on the ballot was to vote to make the treasurer's position an appointed rather than elected. I didn't even realize it was on the ballot. Now, in the old days, I'd get my Holbrook Sun, but you don't get there's no local papers anymore, so people just don't know what's going on. And I thought it's too bad that someone doesn't pick that up and just even do a Holbrook Sun online or something. Just, you know.
Like we used to have, the
Yeah.
Patriot Ledger, the Norton Mirror.
Lord Mayor.
One Patriot.
Yes.
On 36, 1980.
Right at Holbrook meetings, when I first started there, we had the Holbrook Sun, we had the Patriot Ledger, the Enterprise. Then the Holbrook Sun went out because Mariner bought them all, and then they stopped sending people. And then the Enterprise and Ledger merged and stopped. They sent one person, then they stopped sending anybody. At least here, we generally have someone from the Sun Chronicle, but it's not the same as that little local paper that everyone used to have. It's
Ted
too
and I were
bad.
talking earlier about the Norton Mirror.
I didn't realize it was gone.
Yeah, he didn't even know they
Yeah.
were no longer around. It's been quite a few years.
Plus, you have me and the Peter channel taking notes of.
There we go.
That's right.
Post on Facebook and YouTube and keep everybody informed.
Peter keeps everybody informed, so,
That's right.
Have you noticed an impact from the lack of a mirror?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there definitely is a need for a local paper. And unfortunately, as you know, paper is going away. Even the Sun Chronicle right now is going through some changes with some of their long-term employees are now leaving, and it's becoming a different world out there. Everything can be done electronically. These students, I'm sure they'll be getting more involved on the electronic side of it rather than the paper side of it. Some of us old goats still kicking around. I like to hold a piece of paper and read it. I prefer to do that myself. I do. I spend the money to get it every day. I still get the paper, but as times change, I think it's going to be a big difference in the industry and how things are done, and everything's going to be done electronically. It's going to go either through the internet or through cable access or whatever programs we have. Now, if any of you are ambitious and you want to put together a Norton Mirror paper, we're more than willing to help you guys out. So
Even online.
yeah, whatever it
Sell
takes.
ad space. I don't
You
know.
want to take on that project? That's a good one.
Just to give you an update on the
Trying to
flushing.
get some free help.
Last night, they flushed Red Mill Village, and as the water superintendent says, it was pretty dirty. Tonight, they're heading down Newland Street, doing the K streets, and they anticipate moving to South Washington and Plain Street area next. And in answer to Bob Sabo's question, Charlene and myself had a phone conversation with Rave today, who's going to do the alert system, and it actually can be mapped out by GIS
Yep.
with coordinates, so that water and sewer, when flushing is going to happen, they can target areas and notify those people.
Really?
Yeah. So
So how far away are we from doing that?
they actually want to get started soon because they want to be done before July 1st because they realize how busy they're going to be after July 1st. So they want to get it done before July 1st.
Just on a comment on that, it's very important, I think, that happens for a lot of reasons, not just so much, the homeowner, people getting up in the morning and finding tea in their sink, but you think of the restaurants, the donut shops, that this is all town water that filters through these coffee machines that are actually people drinking it, and what it does to the filter systems that they have to change on a regular basis. I think it's, it's very important. Maybe they'll make it, cut it off or whatever and do something else prior to the, to the flushing. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, it is, especially if you're doing, my wife's nurse washing her white uniforms, and
Yeah.
they're coming out brown and not being very happy about it.
And also, the water superintendent reports that they seem like they've made progress with the Mass Historical Commission. And instead of having to identify 30 excavate, as they call them, significant features, there were 30 significant features. Now it's down to 15 that they have to excavate. So supposedly that's going to move things along quicker down at the treatment plant. So hopefully.
So if you students want to do something, a good story, this is about our first water treatment plant we're trying to build here in Norton. And down on Plain Street, where we're spending $10 million to put this new plant together, and we're running into problems because of Indian artifacts. And it used to be a camping area for King Philip and his tribe, the Wampanoags. So we've been trying to mediate between us and the state and trying to get this stuff done, and it's been a long project for the Water and Sewer Commission. They've been working hard at it, and unfortunately, fortunately, they haven't found any bones, but they've found a lot of different artifacts down there that they've had to deal with, and they've created an area where they're going to take anything they find and rebury it there on the site. But it's an interesting story if you ever get a chance to check it out. Yeah.
We had a good meeting last week with the engineers from Beta that are working on the bike trail. We met with the people from the Land Preservation Society who were very supportive of the project, and their property that they own on South Washington Street, just beyond the highway, that's where the trail will cut through their property.
North Washington Street.
North Washington, I'm sorry. We'll cut through their property, and they're very supportive of that, and there'll be a little parking area there. And anything that goes through that property has to be permeable, so whatever material is used there will be permeable.
Okay.
But they're very supportive of the project, and we just need them now to provide formal approval, and the engineers are working to get filed with conservation on the wetland areas, and it just needs sign off from all the various, from the town, which we have signed off, but they also need sign off from whoever is in charge of Arrowhead Village, so we're trying to track down,
They're an association.
yeah. So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
To you, through you to Mike. On this trail, is the work going to be, the work that needs to be done on that bike path at 123 at the hump, is that going to take place during construction of
Right.
the widening of the road?
they're coordinating with each other, the two engineering companies, on the design at the crossing there.
Cool.
Now, this road is all going to be paved except for that one section. Is that what you're saying? It's going to be permeable through there?
That one section will be permeable, everything else.
That's
will be
coming down behind the Mansfield Airport.
Right,
That area won't be paved, but everything beyond that will be paved all the way to the Taunton line?
Yep.
Okay.
and that'll be that small section, then they're out on the road, then down Cobb and back on. Also, update on the water bodies cleanup. The Solitude Management, who's handling it, had applied for a modification. They've received modification to the plan through Conservation and also National Heritage to use pellets in Lake Winnicott. And they were going out Wednesday to start looking at areas of greatest need in Winnicott, and we'll be starting shortly. They have the approval through Conservation and National Heritage.
This has been an ongoing project. This is what, probably
Years.
4 or 5 years now? We've been working on this, so for those naysayers that said it wouldn't happen, it's finally going to happen this spring, where we're going to start treating these water bodies.
Yep.
And that'll be Winnicott, Norton Reservoir, Barrowsville Pond, and Chartwood Pond, right? So the 4 bodies will be treated for, we have a weed infestation problem, which we're trying to deal with. And I think the pellets is a great idea, because that's the only water body we have that isn't dammed. We have no control over that one. It's a natural body of water, so the pellets, I would imagine, would stay there longer and hopefully take care of that weed problem, so.
So they were out Wednesday to do inspections of target growth areas at Winnicott and the reservoir, so.
That's great. Well, that's good news. It's long, long overdue.
Yeah, very nice. Will we notice a difference on the impact of that within a couple of years, or will it take less time?
It should take less time. Hopefully, they're very successful the first year, and then next year would be a
Maintenance.
lot less need. And then by the third year, it should just be a maintenance.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So hopefully we'll see something by the end of this year,
Right.
hopefully.
If you can't walk on the water, then you improved it.
That's the res. Can do that now.
On the Reed and Barton property on Elm Street, EPA did go out there last Friday, and they will be putting maybe 100 test wells around that site. They're going to be very extensive. Obviously, they were very concerned because the plant is so close to a water body. So they're going to be doing extensive testing of the site, and we'll hear back from them when they have some results.
No, that's all external testing. There's nothing going on inside the building.
No, and the building is deteriorating rapidly,
Yeah.
and people have been getting in there. There's new graffiti since the last time, and so,
People been getting inside the building?
I mean, and this board has been very, very concerned about someone getting in there and setting it on fire. I mean, that thing goes up, we're going to have a major
Evacuation.
catastrophe going on there we're going to have to deal with. So we have to, I don't know how we can secure that building, but I know we're not supposed to be doing anything. We can't take any responsibility for it.
and I will say on that, the fire chief was very good, and when, that day, he specifically asked them to show him their court order to be able to go on the property, and also to allow the fire department on the property, making it clear that we're not letting anybody on the property. It's not we're not under control of that property.
But my question is, if they're finding ways of where people are getting in there, is there any action we can take to make that stop?
Well, there was one gate that was open that's been secured now, but still, I don't know.
Windows and doors is what I'm talking about?
We'll look at what has to be done as far as. One other thing is on the townwide cleanup day, and I've heard back, and I hope I don't butcher Drew's name, Drew Senkabaugh from Wheaton. Okay, and he's told me that he expects the journalism students to be lots of them to be at cleanup day on April 29th from 9 to 12. And at the end of the cleanup, they have received permission from Wheaton College to have a cookout at the Haas Center. So that'll be a good reward for people that show up on that day. And so it's 9 to 12, so he's putting groups together at the college to help us out. And if anybody has any information for other groups, who I should contact, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts,
High school.
Rotary, the high school, St. Mary's, VFW, anyone that will be sending flyers to them all.
And any of these new business partners we have in
Right.
town, too. The more we can clean up, the better. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have the appointment of Sarah Boudreau, part-time Conservation Commission Secretary. You have the notification? Want to read it?
Yeah, sure. This time, we have a letter to the Board of Selectmen from Michael D. Units, Town Manager, dated March 31st, 2017. A notice of appointment of a part-time Conservation Commission Secretary. I hereby notify the Board of Selectmen, in accordance with the provisions of Article 4, Section 2B of the Norton Charter, that acting in my capacity as the appointing authority, I have appointed the following individual as a part-time Conservation Commission Secretary, Sarah Boudreau. This appointment was made on March 30th, 2017, in accordance with the provisions of the Norton Charter, and will be effective April 14th, 2017, unless the Board of Selectmen votes to accept or reject the appointment prior to said date. I specifically request the board to accept this appointment of this effective date of April 10th, 2017.
Mr. Units?
Yep, this is a 18-hour-a-week, non-benefit eligible position. It's been vacant for a while now, and we interviewed quite a few people, and Sarah comes with conservation experience, so she can step right in and will know the terminology and will be helpful on reviewing applications for completeness, things like that, so should be a plus.
Any questions? Seeing none, the chair entertain a motion to appoint part-time Conservation Commission Secretary Sarah Boudreau, effective the date of April 10th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, Selectmen's report and mail. Mr. Salvo.
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Bramwell.
I don't have anything either.
A couple here. Make sure I got the right dates going.
I was just looking at that.
That's this Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. This coming Saturday, the Norton Park and Recreation is holding their annual spring egg hunt, to be held on Saturday, April 8th at 1 p.m. on the town common. This free event is to all Norton residents ages 2 to 8. Bring your own basket or bag to collect eggs in your child's corresponding age group area. Bring your camera to snap a picture of the Easter Bunny. There will be farm animals to visit and face painting as well. And be sure to be on time so you don't miss out on the fun. The egg collecting will begin promptly at 1 p.m. And again, that's this coming Saturday on the town common, right here in the center of town, at 1 p.m. We also want to remind everyone that we have the Household Hazardous Waste Day coming up. It'll be held on later in the month on April 27th, 2017, from 9 to 12 here at the Town Hall.
April 29th.
What did I say?
27th.
29th, April 29th. I'm assuming that's a Saturday, right?
It is.
Okay.
They can stop on their way to pick up their bags for the cleanup.
Yeah, there you go. On April 29th, here at the Town Hall from 9 to 12, out here in the back parking lot. And the Highway Department will also be open for easy, convenient drop-off also. And they give a number of things of what you can bring. And basically, you can bring anything as far as grease and oil and carburetor stuff from the household. You have any kind of chemicals, any oil or wood paint, water-based paints, all that kind of stuff. What you cannot bring is latex paint. Cannot be disposed of. You can get rid of that in the trash if you put hardener in it, or if you put cat litter in it or something like that. You can actually throw that out in the trash. Cannot bring empty containers of trash. No commercial or industrial waste. No radioactive waste, I would hope. Smoke detectors, infectious or biological waste, pressurized cylinders, ammunition, fireworks, and explosives.
Those delivered once.
Boy, we don't want those. And any fire extinguishers. So, but almost anything else can be brought. And again, you can here at the town hall, there's a list of all the products that you can utilize.
So what do you do with your smoke detectors? What do you do with your smoke detectors?
Don't they go to the Board of Health?
I'll check on that.
I think there used to be a box here at the town hall somewhere where you could put your smoke detectors in it, and they would take care of it. But I don't know. We should find out.
I've been planning them on a shelf for myself.
Yeah, along with the rest of them. Okay. Okay, everything under that. On the warrants and minutes, Mr. Salvo?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to approve the bill warrant number 60 dated April 6, 2017, in the amount of $262,074.85.
Second.
Motion is second on warrant number 60. Any further
60.
discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. In your file, you also have the minutes from January 12th, 2017. Everyone had a chance to take a look at it?
Yes.
Any questions, corrections? Okay. Seeing none, the chair entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 12th, 2017 as written.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, next meeting's agenda, we are going to continue to discuss the May 8th, 2017 annual town meeting warrant articles. Is there anything else coming? Okay. We did receive a letter, before I forget it, from, we got some correspondence back from National, what do they call it?
National Grid.
National Grid regarding the street light questions we had. And I think we should ask them to come in and talk to us about it, because we're being told that they're so inundated with requests that it may take up to 12 months to get us any kind of information about what these lights might cost if we had to buy them. And I have to believe that National Grid has an inventory of what we have and where they are, and I can't imagine it should take that kind of
I
time.
thought it was interesting. They told me I have to give them the account numbers, like they can't find that, but with a click of a button.
There's something.
They'd find them quick if you didn't send the check.
And you know what? If they want to put in LED lighting, I don't have a problem. They keep it. They can keep them. But we're just trying to figure out a creative way to make this stuff, update this equipment. So maybe ask if they can send someone in so we can talk about that, just out of curiosity. Anything else?
Just, I've heard that Bay Road Heights is resurfacing again. And then the other one, Woodlock Park, it's a 4-lot 40B project or something. What is that, Mike?
Woodlock?
No,
Woodlock.
there's no Woodlock. There's Bay Road Heights. There's Island Brook, Turtle Crossing, Strawberry Fields.
It was on the planning board agenda the other night. Woodlock. It's a small 40B project.
Is that the one on Oak Street?
Maybe that's what it is, huh?
Oh, that's the one where that's under our new bylaw.
Condos.
Where they build so many units, they have
Yeah.
to put a couple aside for,
Yeah, there's only 2 in there, I
Yeah.
think.
yeah, that's,
But the other
There's some
one,
problems with that right now, right? Being built, something?
I haven't heard. I'll check. I haven't
we
heard.
should find out. Yeah.
I've heard there was some problem with it.
Okay. And the other one, Bay Road Heights, is going for an extension and modification.
Ridiculous. Okay, anything else coming before the board? We have no executive session, right?
All good.
Seeing none, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We adjourn. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Thank you.